Are you having an issue with your Jurassic Park machine that might look a little like this, where it's either not shooting straight, acting sporadic, or causing both guns to shoot off screen? Well, then one of these may be your issue. You have your potentiometer here, and your second potentiometer right here. In our calibration screen here, you can see this one has some weird dead spots going on when we move it around on the screen. So what we have to do is adjust this pot and that pot there, or replace them. As you can see per the manual, we have our up and down alignment, which you'll need that flat spot of the potentiometer and your set screw aligned directly with the center nut on that piece right there. And as for this up and down pot, or left to right, sorry, you will need your pot facing directly towards the trigger with the handle straight forward. So we're going to go ahead and double check those, and if it's not good, we're going to go ahead and replace these pots. So here you can see we have our potentiometer facing down, directly aligned with this nut. As for the other one that's in there, which you guys might be able to see, a little white spot. It's a little hard to see, but we're going to go ahead and adjust that one. That's going to be our issue. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to unplug it, and we have a bolt here and a bolt here. So I have this pot out, and as you can see, focus, we have this pot facing directly straight. I'm going to need two hands to do this, but I'll have to face gun facing directly forward, slide this in nice and gently until it's touching that white gear right there, bolt it all down, plug it in, and we should be able to calibrate. So as you guys can see, that potentiometer is sticking quite a bit right there, so that's not how we want it. Want the potentiometer to spin freely like that. This one is getting stuck right there. Alright, so here are the tools that you'll need for this video. Obviously, you'll need two potentiometers, one for the X position, one for the Y position. Here I have a 1.3 bit, which you can kind of see on the tip right there, or you can use a 1/32. I also have T27 Torx, T10 Torx, a 13mm wrench, an adjustable wrench, 5/32 Allen key, and you'll need an 11mm, but for right now I'm just using this one is, you can put whatever you want in it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the T27, and we're going to be taking off the cover. We have 1, 2, 3 bolts, 3 on the other side, as well as 2 up front. So that exposes your skeleton. Inside here you have your gun vibration, so this little coil here that just rocks back and forth, and then over here you'll see here you have your X position horizontal left to right potentiometer. That's 5K ohms. So next what we're going to do is we are going to take off the lower shell right here to get to the Y potentiometer. For that we're going to use T10 Torx bit and just hold the bottom nut. You'll also notice here on the back case, there is also 2 more T27 bolts, as well as here on the front. We're going to loosen those, but not take them all the way out. So you see when you loosen those, this lower cover comes off. Put those aside. The first potentiometer we're going to go ahead and remove is going to be the Y position, the up and down right there. What we need to do is we need to take out these 2 bolts. They are 11 millimeters. And on the back side, you'll also have 2 11 millimeter nuts that you have to hold. After you get those bolts out, you will have a rubber washer here and another rubber washer. And here you have to put the potentiometer in the correct position to be able to push the bolt out. As you can see, or else it's going to hit against the gear. And we have our second bushing. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the white gear off the potentiometer. You have a little set screw, as you might be able to see right there. And it's got a flat spot on the potentiometer that it screws into. And that's basically what seats it. And again, this is a 1.3 hex head, or you can use a 1/32 Allen head. So that's going to expose this nut that will back the potentiometer out. And for that, we're going to use a 13 millimeter wrench or 1/2 inch and just crack it loose, take the rest off by hand. You should have some kind of locking washer on there as well, but what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this potentiometer from the back. Make sure you keep that lock washer, and boom, your potentiometer's out. Unplug it, and that's what it looks like. That's also the part number if you need to reference, which I have new ones right here. You can use either of these. Now we have the new potentiometer, as you can see, and we're just going to do the reverse process. We're going to plug it in. There is a little slot right there that the potentiometer slides into. You'll have to maneuver it a little bit to get it in. It's got a little dowel as well on the top, right there. So you want to make sure that seats properly. You hear it click in. And then we're going to put the locking washer, the bolt nut, tighten it by hand, and we're going to crank this a little bit until it sits flat where it's supposed to, because the dowel will want to work its way into that hole. As for this process right here, you'll see I'm changing out the potentiometers. You just want to refer back to the factory service manual like I showed you in the very beginning of the video on the proper way to align these so that you can calibrate properly. That's how you change the potentiometers. We're going to go ahead and reverse process, put all this stuff back together, put on the shell, put on the cover, put on your top cover, and that should be it. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have the Jurassic Park machine here. We have the assemblies I'm going to run this cable in through here, down through the back. I'll show you guys that in a second. We have these 4 bolts that hold the assembly down, both sides. We'll power it on, and I'll show you how to calibrate it. Okay, so the cables come in through there. It's one plug, connects there. Got to do the same thing on the other side over there. We should be done. Power the machine on, calibrate. Okay, we have the machine powered on. It's gonna boot up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here. And in here, we have our test and service buttons. We're gonna, once this boots up, hold up the test button for 2 seconds, like it says right there, and it'll bring up the menu. So here, hold that test button for 2 seconds, brings up our menu. We're gonna go straight to gun calibration right here. And as you see, it says aim top to left of the screen, press fire. Aim at top left of the screen, press fire. So player 1, we are going to aim at the top left, hit fire. Now it's going to tell us to aim at the bottom right and fire. Player 1 finished, and as you guys can see, we have no dead spots. A dead spot would basically just stop moving the numbers around, but anywhere we go on screen, it's moving around, which is a good sign. We're going to do the same thing for player 2. And as you see, looks good. We'll go ahead and give the game a try and see how it looks. Alright, so the problem I'm having here is potentiometer. As you can see, I'm moving the gun assembly around, and this is acting very sporadic, and it's almost acting as if it's messing up both player 1 and player 2. Let's see.
Select a level.
So this left side, player 1, is good. Right side, as you can see, is very sporadic. Not really figuring out where it wants to be on the screen. So we have to adjust our X potentiometer and our Y potentiometer. And as you see, there is a very specific way to make sure that these are pointed in the correct direction. Alright, I'm picking up at a little bit of a weird point. I have the gun taken apart. I finally found the issue. I swapped it over. The problem followed, and I was checking everything: voltage, resistance, continuity. Everything checked out perfectly fine. And then the second that I went to go move the actual gun assembly, it happened to change the resistance a little bit. And so underneath here, you guys won't be able to see it just yet, but if I pull this up a little bit, you'll see I have a short right there. So I'm gonna go ahead, repair this harness, and get it back together, see if it works. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, chopped up the harness. I have the respective heat shrinks. I have my soldering iron. I'm gonna go ahead, solder red to red, white to white, black to black, and then I'm going to tape up the sheathing. As you can see, like, it's torn right there, and I'm going to wrap it around, and then this should work, because basically this 5-volt wire was shorting against the frame underneath there. So let's give it a try. Alright, so everything's soldered. I gave everything a nice little tug. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up with electrical tape like I said, all the way around, and then do the same thing with this harness right here, and just double check the entire harness, make sure there's no more breaks, and then we'll go ahead and put this all back together and test it. Alright, so as you guys see, I have the repaired wire there. It's not rubbing up against it anymore. There was a sharp edge on the inside. As you see, it was ripping up on the tape, but I went ahead and filed it down and pushed the wires back, and it does not rub or slice into it anymore. Alright, calibration's finished. Here's a test. Alright, we have a fluent motion on both of these here. Let's put it in test mode and see what we get.
Select a level.
There we go. It's looking good.
A T-Rex is loose in Bravo sector. Let's roll.
Alright, that's one gun.
Frostbite.
2 guns. Nice.
Okay guys, I figured I'd add a little bit of a teaching portion towards the end of this video. As you guys can see on the screen, I have a schematic of a potentiometer pulled up. Our potentiometer is controlled by 3 pins. You have your ground to the left, you have your power coming in from the power supply to the right, and on the center pin, you have your output going to your control. In this case, this would be the X or Y position, depending on which potentiometer we're looking at for our gun assembly. The potentiometer basically uses a wiper towards the top of the screen that you guys see to control the amount of power going in or out of the control. In our case, we had a little bit of debris gunked up on our resistive strip, which was causing some irregularities inside of the potentiometer, which was causing that sporadic movement on the screen. The second issue we were having with the wiring harness was actually our positive 5 volts coming from the power supply was shorting against the gun assembly's frame internally whenever the gun was moved, causing a short circuit, which basically is impeding the amount of electricity that can go through that circuit, causing the irregularities. I hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.